You should go now because the fan's off.
Yes.
The one and only Pedro Silva.
So a lot of people have mentioned that when they came here, they didn't know what to expect. And I am in that same boat. I've been trying to kind of work out some new material, but I'm doing jokes in the town where I used to be a pastor. And so every time I start thinking about things I want to say, and then I see people from my whole church, I'm always like, I don't know what to say here. And as I was sitting here, I started watching and feeling like jokes leave me. So I said, man, I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna have nothing to say. But I'm gonna go and kind of give it a shot. So one of the things about being a pastor is that people think that you're always just like Zen. Well, maybe not Zen if you're a Christian, but whatever. You're spiritual. You're always at peace. And that's not always the case. And I try to tell people, I am only at peace about 80% of the time. And the rest of the time, I'm paying attention to the world. And recently, I've been really struggling because I used to be fundamentalist Christian. And then I came into this, well, I'm in Boulder now, so you know how that worked out. So I've been really wrestling as I've watched the news and seen people from my old traditions say things that just don't make sense. And it's been making me angrier and angrier. And some people even see my Facebook posts and say, hey man, I just want to check on you. You doing all right? And some of my fundamentalist buddies who think that I went off the deep end have been contacting me too because they're in the process of trying to resave me. And recently, I started talking to God, and I was like, God, because I am still pretty spiritual and religious. And I was talking to God, and I said, God, please help me have patience with some of these people that are really getting on my nerves. And I really need that patience because I work now in this movement that's called Bridging, which is supposed to bring people together across divides. But some of the people on the other side, I find myself wrestling with. And because I'm really close with God, God sometimes gives me little signs of how I should change or grow or whatever the case may be. And so recently I was really struggling. I had a whole bunch of prepared Facebook posts that I was about to drop because I'm trying to become a troll for good and try to control people, but try to make their life better as I tear them down or whatever. But I was wrestling. I had this post and I didn't really want to post it, but I kind of wanted to post it. And I was holding it. And I was talking to God and I said, speak to me, speak to me, speak to me. Keep me from messing up if I'm about to mess up. And I'm all about the love your neighbor as yourself and love your enemies and all this other stuff. But any spiritual thing, prayers, nothing was working. And so God started to orchestrate the universe, because that happens. And so the orchestration started with my little daughter. I have a 6-year-old kid and she's constantly cartwheeling, cartwheeling. And I'm telling her, you gotta stop cartwheeling, you gotta stop cartwheeling, you gotta calm down. And I started wondering, what if God is trying to use my kids cartwheeling to be able to teach me this lesson? And so I was like witnessing, and we were at this, went to this restaurant and we were standing outside waiting for our food. And I was kind of leaning up a tree and I was still talking to God, just going through my thing, watching my kid cartwheel. And then this group of like college-age girls started walking by. And I was like, saw them coming. And I was just kind of sitting there like, what is God trying to teach me? And I asked God, how should I treat these people who I know they think they're doing the right thing? How should I treat them? And then all of a sudden, God's message came through loud and clear as my daughter, I'm gonna try to do a cartwheel. My daughter's like, wah, wah. And I'm like, woo. And I said, be careful. And then she goes for another one. Wah, 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 wah. She does it, kicks me square in the nuts. And just as she does it, here comes these college-age girls. I'm like, ugh! I'm holding on to the tree, I'm hugging the tree. I'm like working it out in my mind, like, God, why? Why, God? Why did you have to show me this way? I could have learned another way. And I'm still just holding on to the tree, and I feel like I'm about to vomit. And I'm laying there, and the girls are laughing, and they're like, and it's like all happening in slow motion. They're like, and I already got a gray beard. I'm like, oh man, she just kicked her granddad in the nuts. And I'm laying there, and I was sitting there, and I stopped, and my daughter's like, I'm like, I wanted to like go crazy, and I was just like, stop, just go, just everybody walk away, walk away. And I'm sitting there, and my wife's like, just walk away, I gotta talk to God. And I sat there, and I was like, why, God? And then God said to me, the next time you run into one of these people that piss you off, treat them like they're your daughter that kicked you in your nuts by mistake. And it was a terrible lesson, but it also taught me something, because not that many days later, somebody started to bother me and started to get to me. And all of a sudden, I started hurting. And I was like, ah! And I was like, oh. And I started thinking about it. That sometimes you have to treat people like your kid who kicked you in the nuts by mistake, or whatever the equivalent is for women. And it's been really profound. It's been changing my life. I've been applying it to almost every person. And for the past few weeks, it's been really working. I've been even going on like these channels on purpose to see how I feel. And then I imagine that that's my kid kicking me in my nuts by mistake. And I have peace. Because I know that I'm really pissed off. And at the same time, I gotta forgive her very quickly. Because whatever I say to her can affect her in a horrible way. You know, there's repercussions. And I think a lot of these people that piss me off, their parents did something to them a long time ago, and they're trying to make up for it. So that's one of the things that I've been working out. The other thing I've been working out is I've been trying to minimize the people that I talk to. So like as a pastor, I used to have to talk to everybody and be open-hearted to everybody. But since I'm not one anymore, I start realizing, like, actually, I don't have to be that cool to that many people. I can actually narrow it down more. And so I've been working on this thing called the 2% theory, where I only talk to 2% of people. And I did a calculation recently, and 2% of all people is 162 million people. That's still a lot of people. I could actually take it down to 0.2%, and I probably wouldn't cover everybody. So now when people start to say stuff to me that bothers me, I just think to myself, they're not in my 2%. I'm just gonna let it go. So another thing I've been thinking about lately is if I had a superpower. And the superpower that I've been trying to work out is I've been thinking I'm gonna call myself Wake Up Man. And that's gonna be my superhero name. And what my power is that I can talk to people and I listen to them and I make them listen to themselves when they speak. And then feel how I feel when I listen to them. And all of a sudden, they hear in their brain like, this is what I sound like? And they start going crazy. And I think that's a pretty awesome power. And that's what I'm gonna use on the other 98%. So I started thinking about it a lot recently after somebody's president, not mine, went to go show his support for black people. I won't say what president it was. All I'll say is that he's not the president now. He used to be the president. He went to a black church, but it was filled with white people. Y'all probably figured out what I'm talking about. And then as soon as he left, he went to another rally where the guys busted out with a shirt that said flag that said white boy something. So y'all can figure out who it is and the irony. But I started thinking about, like, what if I could just transmit my power to the people who say he's done more for black people than any other president except for Lincoln, and make them listen to how that sounds. And I don't know if that power is gonna really work, because I think it'll be a lot of people's heads popping. So, but I'm still trying to work it out. But the other thing I started thinking about, if that power didn't work, is I could probably do something more entertaining than being a pastor, maybe doing comedy. But I'm also working on a musical. And I'm a little bit hesitant to share this musical with y'all, but it's called Racism the Musical. So, and it's about, well, you know, it's about racism. And what happens in the musical is all the people who hold different racist ideologies against each other, no matter who they are, whatever it is, which because there's so many definitions for racism that I can't keep up. So let's just say you think something about another person, they're not your race, then you're racist. But they all decide to get together to create this better world where everybody just gets to say whatever they want to say. So I wrote this song for Racism the Musical. My wife told me not to share it, but I'm gonna just jump. If it doesn't work, I'm just gonna jump off this chair, jump over Daryl's head, and go out the door. But here's the song. I got a couple of them.
I love it already.
Let's be racist today, say what we wanna say. We're thinking it anyway, hallelujah. White people are insecure, blacks have low credit scores, and I'm pretty sure that Asians can't drive. Is that wrong? But this is Racism the Musical, this is not real life. And then everybody starts singing together and they all start doing it. And it's beautiful. And it brings peace to the world. Either that, I got to develop that power. The last thing that I want to share is I'm starting to think about having a church, because I grew up in an all-black church, but we had a white Jesus on the walls. And I used to see it all the time, and my cousins were in the Nation of Islam, so they used to give me a hard time about it. And they'd be like, yo, what up, man? You worship the white man. And I would say, no, I don't. And then I would go to church and be like, he kind of got me. And then we had white fans from funeral homes, white Jesus fans from funeral homes. So I started feeling a little bad about it. So I came up to my pastor and I was like, what's up with that, man? We worship the white man. I started saying the same thing my cousin said. And that got me in trouble. That's why I'm not conservative anymore. So that got me in trouble. But I came up with a song before I left. And I said, okay, I understand y'all don't want me to be anymore, but let me just give a testimony. And I tricked me. They thought I was gonna come out there and say my sins because they wanted me to confess my sins. But instead I came up with this song. I'm gonna share this for you, and that's gonna be the last one. All right, this song is called Blonde Hair, Blue Eyed Jesus. I'm gonna try to do my best. I would say all the black people, was only 3 people, so I ain't gonna put y'all in that position. But have any of y'all ever been to black church before?
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, a few of y'all, okay. So you're gonna have to I'm just gonna do the song a little bit. So it's like, blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus, what he's done for me. Oh, blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus, what he's done for me. I cannot repay him for what he's done to me. Oh, blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus, he has set me free. Oh, I was really mad, but Jesus set me free. We were living on that land till Jesus set us free. I had my spirit till Jesus set me free. Oh, blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus. I can't do that part. That set me free. So. Let's tell my wife I did that.